The Batman was an absolute hit. I know this movie is a few years too late, but it made over $700 million at the worldwide box office, putting it at number 29 on the list, above the likes of Guardians of the Galaxy, Winter Soldier, Across the Spider-Verse, and Logan. So I meticulously went through every single scene and every single line to document and figure out why this movie was so successful. And what I got was 4 big points that stuck out to me. So let's go. So as I was looking through the letterbox and all the people working on this movie, I found that Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes came up a lot. A lot of people that worked on this movie also worked on those movies. Matt Reeves was the director and writer for those, as well as this movie. William Hoy edited those movies, as well as many others like The Watchmen, 300, Dances with Wolves, OG Fantastic Four movies, and more. He's an incredible editor. Michael Giacchino, he's done a lot of other movies as well, like the MCU Spider-Man, Ratatouille, Coco, Doctor Strange, and then the upcoming Fantastic Four. A lot of people are saying that this upcoming Fantastic Four movie, like, he was made to make that music because he made the music for The Incredibles. But I'm saying he just makes damn good music. I mean, have you listened to the score for this movie? It's James Chinland was a production designer for this, and I just got to say, I didn't look at a ton of the other movies that he did, but if you look at the freaking Wayne Tower, the Batcave, just Gotham in general, Selina's apartment, the Iceberg Lounge, everything just looks and vibes. The vibes are incredible. Robert Alonzo was the stunt coordinator, and I was watching behind the scenes. One of the cool things that he said is that you got to teach actors not to anticipate hits, but how to act like he's reacting to the hits, which I thought was interesting. He didn't work on the Apes movies, but he did work on Deadpool, Pirates at World's End, Blink Twice, which is Zoe Kravitz, Catwoman's, her directorial debut, which was awesome. I'd recommend seeing it. Mission Impossible 3, and 40 others. That's bonkers. Peter Craig also helped Matt Reeves write this movie, and he wrote Mockingjay Part 1 and 2, as well as 12 Strong and The Town. But speaking of writing, let's move on to the next point. So the next point is well-written characters. Actually, the next 2 points after this one also have to do with writing. Well, this one is about characters, and there are a few sub-points in this. So let's get going. All right, so these characters aren't perfect. And not that they're not well-made characters, but they aren't perfect people. So let's talk about Batman. Yeah, he's not grateful, and he's kind of self-righteous.
This isn't the way to do this. You too now.
Time and time again, when Batman talks to somebody, he just doesn't get the social cues, and it can make for some real uncomfortable situations. He essentially forces Selina to confess her childhood traumas. He treats Alfred like trash. This weakness in particular flows into his character arc, which we'll talk a little bit about later. Catwoman just doesn't care about stealing. She'll just steal. Doesn't matter. That's kind of her weakness. And she kind of has, I was going to say that she's pretty reckless, but honestly, she can easily handle herself in anything that she wanted to do. So, I don't know if that's a weakness. Helps build a likable character, though. All right, next point in the well-written characters, that the side characters are anchors in this story. There are world-building characters. One that stuck out to me was Martinez. He kind of was the voice of the police on their feelings towards Batman, and on the people of Gotham and their feelings towards Batman. He always was kind of there to show us what everyone else was thinking. That was interesting to give like one character that type of role. Then you have anchor points for the story, where they're not really main characters, on either good or bad, but they help drive the story forward. Like the 3 main victims. They help drive the story forward, but they're still a part of the overall theme, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Then you have Annika, who really comes into the B story, Catwoman, and helps drive her theme. And then you have Carmine Falcone, which really kind of brilliantly is a part of both the A and the B story. He is the reason for Selina's pain. He is the key to all the corruption in the city that the Riddler wants to destroy. And he likely killed Batman's parents. So he he has his hands in everything. And then you have anchor points for the main character himself. Because Batman's whole problem is that he's kind of in a hole right now. He doesn't care about people, and he doesn't care about himself. So these people help bring him out of that. So you have Gordon, who teaches him trust. Alfred teaches him familial love, a father figure. Even if he isn't a perfect one, he's there. Then you have Selena, which is kind of like that romantic love. And through this point, with well-written characters, I've been alluding to themes a lot. So let's go to the next point, which is well-written themes. Bad movies don't have themes. Good movies have them. Great movies use them very well. A good way to write a story is to take an idea, a question, a theme, and figure out all the different viewpoints on it, and then make those viewpoints characters. For this movie, the overall theme and arc to me, I thought was vengeance. The Batman feels his parents wanted to clean up the city, didn't get the chance to. He kind of combines two things here. He wants revenge on the criminal element that took his parents away from him, while also trying to continue their legacy of cleaning up the city. He says he's vengeance because he thinks fear will stop the criminals from coming out. The Riddler, he wants revenge on the entire city who he feels wronged him. He teaches the Batman the dangers of revenge and what it looks like when it gets out of hand. Catwoman wants revenge on those who've wronged her. She teaches Batman to care for somebody else. Alfred, revenge shouldn't come at the cost of your life or your soul. He teaches Batman that there's more to life than just revenge. Bella Real, she's a cool character. She's a symbol of hope for the city that Batman wants to become at the end of the movie. Tries to convince him that there's more to doing good than just beating up bad guys. And then Gordon, he's a symbol of justice. He teaches Batman to open up and trust somebody. So he doesn't really play a lot into vengeance, per se. But I do think he plays into the opposite side of hope. And the kid shows Batman the collateral damage of revenge. Riddler's revenge causing the kid to lose his dad. Falcone is the center point for all the main characters' desires for revenge. You got Batman, you got Catwoman, you got Riddler. He's there. So this is a lot to graft into a movie, a well-written movie, and also try to keep us engaged and moving along and understanding. And then over the span of 3 hours, it's a lot. But they do it with well-written scenes. Every line in this movie, and I mean every line in this movie, means something and pushes the story forward. And yet, it's so smooth. How did they do that? What? Everything in the first 30 minutes, which is about 7 scenes from what I clocked, every single thing in that, we come back to it later. So there's no fluff. There's no dilly-dallying around. Even Dory, you know her? She's the one that answers the phone and tells Bruce that Alfred blew up. And imagine we get that scene, but we haven't met Dory before. Instead of thinking, oh my gosh, Alfred blew up, we're going to be thinking, who the hell is this lady? Why is she here? What's her deal? They had to show her for at least a few seconds at the beginning and establish who she is, so that later it could help us think what we need to think at the right moment. So I'm not going to go over every single scene and every single detail, but I did find a pattern that was in nearly every single scene of this movie that kind of helps things move along. First, there was a question, which creates anticipation, which is really good for keeping audience on the edge of their seat. They're like, okay, I want to know the answer to this question. And then it gives satisfaction, gives an answer. Then we're like, okay, sweet. Now we're learning with the hero. And then a new question arrives or a new task arrives. Let's talk about the orphanage scene real quick. Batman and Gordon go to the old orphanage. And the question is the Riddler here? Is this his final spot? And then it heightens the anticipation by saying maybe, by showing that jump scare, and they run after him and say, oh, okay, he's not here. And the next question is, what is here? Oh, who's his next victim? And then it shows us, oh, it's Bruce Wayne, which gives us satisfaction and answer, but also amplifies the anticipation. Like, what's going to happen next? And that carries us into the next scene. The funeral scene is very similar. Bruce goes there looking for the Riddler. That's the question. Is he here? Which one is he? Where is he? Then we get an answer that he is here. As we get that answer, someone crashes into the funeral, and we get a new question. How is Batman going to solve this problem? In the end, he gets some answers and some satisfaction, but he blows up, leaving us to anticipate and have a question of, okay, what? He just blew up. What happens to him? Where's he going? What are they going to do with him? That carries us into the next scene. This question-answer-question pattern creates the feeling of a story unfolding. If you ever heard of a director or book writer talk about a story unfolding, this is what you want because it feels like you're engaged. If you can tell what's going to happen in 100 pages or in a few scenes down the road, then it's kind of hard to be engaged. And they could have gotten this all wrong by showing us the Riddler's perspective a lot more, by showing us what his plans were. Then it would just be us watching Batman fumble about, which isn't as fun. And it takes away the anticipation. Okay, well, thanks. Thanks for being here. This is my first video. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully I get better at this. Anyway, between the talented crew and the thorough writing, it's no wonder that this movie was such a banger. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you want to see more videos like this or get movie recommendations, that's something else I do, or movies to look out for, go ahead and subscribe and like. Or if you just want to be nice, or if you don't want to, that's cool too. Thanks for chilling. Peace out.